So you might remember my previous videos where I made a knife out of a lawnmower blade. I have like 2 videos of that. You should go back and check them out if you haven't already. But I made another knife, only this time I made it out of a saw blade, like a circular saw blade. And this is it. It's a funky looking knife, but it's pretty awesome. So let's check this thing out. So this is the knife right here, and as you can tell, it's very weird looking. It kind of looks like a small hatchet or something. And this was definitely not the design I was going for. But if you ever tried to cut a circular saw blade, you'll know that they're heat treated already, so they're extra tough. So I kind of just gave up after a while and ended up with this design. Which, whatever, I actually kind of like it. At first I was thinking, well, this is ugly. But the more I look at it, the more I handle it, and the more I use it, the more I like it. I just made this a few days ago, but I really like this thing. Now, for the handle, I got 2 pieces of wood, one on each side for hand scales, and I didn't have anything really to cut the wood at the time, so I just took this and a block of wood and I lightly chopped it in a split. So that's how I got my hand scales. I tried to drill through it to put pins in here, but this steel is so tough that the drill I was using could not drill through this. So I basically just glued the wooden handle scales on here, but I didn't have proper glue for it either, so they didn't really stay very well, so I wrapped it in electrical tape. But even though it's weird looking and it's kind of square, it still feels very comfortable in the hand. And when I chop with this, I really don't feel any shock or anything. And it's a really nice chopper. This thing looks funky. I'm well aware of that. It's a weird looking knife, but man, is this a nice knife, and is this effective. And I don't really have a sheath for it yet. I will make one, but yeah, it's an awesome knife. On the back, I got some little funky jimping. I'm probably going to say funky a lot. I just took it to the bench grinder, made the jimping in there. It works really well. It feels really nice. And yeah, I mean, this thing is pretty awesome. Circular saw blades make for great knives. It's great steel. And this was an old, really big saw blade, so we're going to get a lot more stuff out of there. You may see a tomahawk made out of it pretty soon too, so keep an eye out for that. But yeah, so if you're looking to make a knife and you want some good steel, find a circular saw blade and just be prepared to put a lot of time in it, because they are tough and hard to work with, but well worth it in the end. So now let's test this out a little bit and see how well it works, shall we? So I have a dried out dead sapling branch here, and it's pretty hard wood. When it's really fresh, it's easy to carve through, but when it's dead like this, it's tough. So I'm gonna see how sharp this is, and if it carves through this really easy, then it's a pretty sharp knife. Look how many layers, look how easy that is. And I didn't put much effort into that at all. So it's definitely sharp. But now I want to do something that I haven't done with this yet. I want to see how tough it is, and I'm going to baton with it. And I don't have any logs to baton with, but I found a chunk of wood I have over here, and I'm gonna baton with this knife and see how well it handles that. So let's try that. So as you can see, this is just an old chunk of wood that I found in my shed, but this stuff is tough. If you ever worked with it, you know how that goes. You need a saw to get through it or something, but I'm going to try to baton through it with this. And hopefully it works and doesn't mess up my knife. I'm not really designed for this, by the way. Wow. So, as you saw, it batoned very well. I honestly didn't expect it to baton that well. It really surprised me. And the edge on here is absolutely perfect yet. It's still extremely sharp. So, yeah, all in all, I say this is a pretty awesome knife. It looks weird, and it was definitely not what I was going for when I made it. I was trying to make like a small bushcraft knife. Freaking bugs. But yeah, this is actually better than my original design, because not only does it chop well, it batons well, it shaves and carves and cuts well, and I have a feeling if I was using this to process game or something, it's going to do extremely well for that too. So it'll be a good hunting knife, especially if you have to get to tough bones. And the saw blade steel is super tough. So yeah, if you're looking to make a homemade knife and you got an old circular saw blade laying around, use that. It's great steel. Just make sure you have a whole lot of cutting wheels for your grinder, because it's super tough. And if you're going to drill through it, you better have a good drill bit and a good drill. I did not. So, yeah. Sooner or later, I might think of something else for the handle, because I want this to look better. And I will make a sheath for this. But as of right now, I'm satisfied with this. I'm happy with this. As weird as this looks, this is a fantastic knife. And I say this all the time, but if you guys have made anything, knives, weapons, stuff like that, I'd like to see it. So if you have videos of it, post your link in my comments down below, and I'm gonna check it out. And I love that kind of stuff. So definitely do that. Definitely like the video. Definitely subscribe. And if there's anything else you want to add, let me know in the comments down below.